We're here meeting with Chief Charlie Beck for the Chief's message for December 2015. Sir?
Jack, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
And congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thanks, boss, I appreciate that. You know, here we are with 2015 coming to a close. What's your assessment for the year, sir?
Well, it's been a tough year, Jack, and I don't think that anybody needs me to tell them that. You know, this is the first year in over a dozen years we've seen an increase in crime. We've also seen events across the nation that caused a crisis of confidence in policing throughout America. So the APD has had to respond to both of those things, and I have to tell you, I'm very, very proud of this department. I'm proud of the men and women who have been able to take these things in stride and not only stop the increase in crime, but also increase confidence while doing it. You know, this is a tremendous organization made up of people who dedicate their lives to this city and making it safe, and none of us take these issues lying down, and this department has not.
We've gone through the year and within the year itself some tremendous ups and downs. We had the Special Olympics World Games here. It was fantastic. And then not long after that, we had criticism in regards to our field activities.
Well, you know, and the Special Olympics were flawless, and everybody was a great ambassador for Los Angeles and for the police department. I was immensely proud of what we did there. And you know, but of course, police work is always about conflict. You know, we deal in dispute, you know, and we deal in trying to solve difficult problems. And because of that, there can be criticism. And so we have to not only respond to that criticism, but then do our best to do things in as right a way as possible, given the difficulty of the job, to avoid criticism in the first place. And that's why we did preservation of life training. You know, we stood everybody down, talked about the national discussion, you know, from staff officers level, you know, and all the way down to our newest recruit, and talked about why people feel the way they do in America, whether that feeling is justified, and what we can do to change the way people perceive law enforcement. You know, I think that is a very, very important thing to do. You know, recently I commissioned the Preservation of Life Medal, and one of the reasons I did that was to not so much to change the behavior of Los Angeles police officers in regards to how they handle use of deadly force, but really to highlight how much restraint we use before we use deadly force. And I see this every day in my review of officer-involved shootings, my review of categorical uses of force. I see great restraint and appropriate restraint, the kind of restraint that we can be proud of, that doesn't unduly place employees at risk, but does what the best we can do to make the best of a bad situation when dealing with extremely violent people who may have substance abuse or mental illness issues, or may just have an intent to do harm. And we do that every day. And I want to recognize the times when we do it well.
You know, when you're talking about evaluation, I see that you're actually conducting surveys, one of them within our own department, through the employees unit, and also through the community itself for determining the level of our service.
Well, you know, Jack, I think that so many times we look at performance metrics. You know, we just look at, well, how many of this, how many of that, is this up or is this down? And really, a lot of times what I want to do is measure the way people feel about their jobs, police officers feel about their jobs, the way they feel about how the department cares and relates to them. But then I also want to find out what the public thinks about the Los Angeles Police Department. And one of the reasons I want to do that is so as we try things, you know, as we try community relationship division, or as we move a new senior lead officer in, or as we do community relations project, or we do things like Operation Progress in South Los Angeles, you know, as we expand the grid program and Summer Night Lights and all that. When we do these things, do they make a difference? Do people feel better about their police department because we do these things? And it's impossible to tell that without having some measurement. And so the surveys are a way to measure that. And we can tell, you know, are these programs working in this command? You know, Have we got the right people running various divisions? You know, have we made the right choices, you know, in the way that we handle these issues? And hopefully the surveys will help inform that. And all these things are just ways to help us do a really difficult job as well as it can be done. And you know, and I have great confidence in the LAPD. I believe that given the chance, given the support, that we can do policing at a level far beyond what is done anywhere else. And this is just one way to do that.
You're also implementing a program like the LASER program, which is going into a number of divisions.
Yeah.
Is this in response to like AB 109 and the state initiatives?
Well, it's in response to multiple crime issues, you know, and you know, we see a great deal of recidivism. You know, offenders reoffend. You know, violent crime is about a small minority of folks that do a vast majority of the assaults, and especially relative to gang crime. And so we want to target those folks, and we want to get them out of circulation. You know, and I want to make sure that if they're going to be violent, they're going to be violent in prison, not on the streets of Los Angeles.
How about the mental evaluation units? You're expanding that as well.
Well, and we're trying to deal with what we have seen as a rapid rise in dealing with mental illness on the streets of Los Angeles, and you know, whether that's tied to drug use or to other shortcomings in the mental health system. You know, I don't know the answer to those things yet, but I do know that more men and women in the Los Angeles Police Department are responding to those types of calls. And because of that, we need to do more training and have more resources for them so that they have an avenue to succeed with these type of calls. These are very tough calls. You know, these are people that are in lifetime crisis, and sometimes we're ill-equipped to solve that. So we want to do the best we can.
So here we are at the end of the year. One of the things that you and I certainly think about are our coworkers who's in the military. They're off somewhere else fighting for our country.
That's exactly right. We got a half a dozen Los Angeles police officers who are deployed right now, you know, and that is about typical for us. This is a very tough time to be away from your family in a very difficult circumstance, and I want to make sure that all of us remember them in our hearts as we get a chance to spend time with our families.
Thanks a lot, boss. Appreciate it.
No, thank you, Jack. Your safety is my number one priority. You know, I do this job because I believe in you, and I want to make sure you succeed as a police officer, and I want to make sure that this city succeeds. So you take care and be safe out there.